White privilege is the idea that all white people were born with an advantage. And their advantage is purely based on the fact that they were born with a white skin. And it also assumes or presumes that anyone who isn't white is disadvantaged and that all whites are to blame.
We were given opportunities that others weren't, and because of that, we did much better. If that isn't true, how did we get so far ahead of non-white people?
A lot of hard work, dedication, and competence was needed to build their lives and the country. It was at least possible because they were given the opportunities to participate. That is the reality of white privilege.
We often deny any special privilege because of the accusation, which also is a barrier which is preventing us from building bridges.
You could also say it doesn't mean much today because the laws changed in 1994. Could also argue that whites voted on their own to end apartheid in 1992, which is true, but what does it look like today now that the apartheid laws are gone?
I used to say that my privilege is not because I'm white. It's because I come from a two-parent family, both of who loved me very much, and we had two incomes, which gave us a stronger financial platform, more opportunities education-wise, etc. A more solid foundation, and in general, just a better upbringing than those who didn't come from two-parent families. All of which is true. White privilege I heard for the first time about 7 or 8 years ago when I was accused of it. And my immediate thought was, my privilege doesn't come because I'm white. It comes because of those other obvious reasons that I've just spelled out to you. On top of that, we are excluded in participating in the same ways in South Africa. In government, we don't participate in the same way. In tenders and many businesses with black economic empowerment, we are excluded, or at least partially excluded. We are referred to as evil colonizers and oppressors very often. Anything that we have achieved in the country is often looked over and not really taken or given its due consideration. And when leaders speak of our people, they're not referring to white people. My question was, how could we have white privilege? And then I saw what it looked like. I went to a job as a carpenter a few years ago, and there was a colored fellow who was the lead carpenter. I was second to him. And as we walked in the door, the owner assumed that I was in charge and not him. When we went to lunch, the waiter brought me the bill, and when we went to the car park, the beggar came to me for money. That is a prejudice.
Now let me expose your prejudice. The client at the house was black.
Am I guilty because of their prejudice? What if the owner of the house was a woman? Am I guilty because of yours? Are you guilty?
The issue may not be privilege, white or otherwise. We all hope to have privilege. The issue is discrimination, unchecked. And the issue is inherent prejudice, regardless of your origin or gender. This is not an excuse. This is not an excuse, but we must change the term from, accusation used to stop discussions to perhaps an argument, in having a discussion.
We are extended by others, even non-whites, extra privilege. And I agree that sometimes it is because some might not like or they look down on black people. That is an inherent prejudice and discrimination.
Many times, we can expect that whites are more capable because they had opportunities. If that's not true, what's there? What's there then to complain about?
So imagine you are a soccer coach and you have to choose between two players that you don't know. One is a little Brazilian boy and one is a little Indian girl, both 14, and you don't know either one of them. Who would you choose? Now, if winning and doing well doesn't matter, then you are free to choose either or.
But if it is about competence and competition, then you must choose who you think is better. Yes, Brazil is a soccer nation. India, not so much. Boys are generally more physical than girls.
Now, maybe the girl is Ronaldo's adopted superstar soccer playing daughter, and the little Brazilian boy has never kicked a ball before. Once you know, if you still neglect or favor one for the other because of race or gender or whatever reason, then you are guilty.
So white privilege today is when others maybe, merit favor and responsibility because you are white, and even when they don't know you, they just give you that favor because you are white.
Checking your privilege is then checking your prejudice and being aware of your privilege. Doctors have privilege, teachers, sports stars, leaders, ministers, business owners, employees, all have privilege.
Is the accusation of white privilege a ghost?
The argument of white privilege is an issue, however, that we must discuss.
If this message speaks to you, we want to hear your thoughts. Share this clip, subscribe to our channel, join your voice with ours. The voice of one, black or white, red blood. Siya phambili, as long as we stay together. Thank you.